Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody today? Hello, beautiful Gina. Grand Rising. Grand Rising Patty. Grand Rising. Oh, I forgot to hit play over here. Get everybody in the house. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody on this wonderful Aloha Friday? That's right. We made it to the end of the week. We made it through our sacral chakra. Kudos. Kudos. Well, almost. We're like at the tail end, right? We've made it through the tail end. We've got all the goodies, all the scrumptious tidbits. So good morning. Let me know what you're drinking. I got coffee going on this morning. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for sharing, following, inviting, letting your friends know, getting more people in here. Welcome. My name is Jamica. If you are new here, thank you. It is a blessing and an honor to have you here in this place, space, and time. This is the place where we come together in the mornings on the Morning Brew. We focus on the art of self-care and nourishing ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. We focus on prosperity and the 4 spiritual laws connected to prosperity. And we are in the middle of an amazing series. It's an 8-week series where we are diving into our energy systems, Masters of Energy series. We talked this week, this is the 3rd week that we're in, and we talked about our sacral chakra. And on Fridays is our recap day. Fridays is all about just a little recap, answering any questions that anybody might have had throughout the week, touching bases, and then we do a little food for thought. Again, we nourish ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. And what's amazing about Fridays is Great Spirit always pulls it together and usually will offer us some form of homework that we get to do if we choose to do it. And it's always been my experience up to this point when I take Spirit up on these little challenges or offers or gifts, I should say, from Spirit to do the get to do gifts. I like that, get to do gifts. When I pick up the get to do gifts from Spirit, it's just the most amazing presents. They are the most amazing gifts. They're just mind-blowing. So that's what Fridays is about. We go into the weekend. We have 2 days where we don't meet together. We're on our own out there in the world. No Morning Brew for 2 days, right? But that's the beautiful thing. Like I said, this is the 2 days where we kind of absorb all the information we've got through the week. We take it and we put it into action. That's the whole point of mastering this energy, really learning ourselves, knowing ourselves, is to take this in and put it into action. Good morning, Haley. Good morning, sister. I am so glad you're here. You know, I'm sorry you weren't able to join us, but you can always go back and rewatch, which I do highly recommend, because you guys, yesterday we had guest Brother Bear Yona Dotson from the Native Prince Crystal Healing family sharing with us about energy and how to really feel the energy, how to feel the crystals, and understand how they're working with our energy system. So definitely go back and rewatch if you didn't get a chance and you have an opportunity, at least even that first part for sure, because, and that's the nice thing, guys, I try to keep the first part, this information on the sacral in the beginning, so you can always just go back and rewatch that first part if you only have a minute to kind of gather some of this information. So good morning, my beautiful sister Karen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And tell all the animals I said good morning. Good morning, Spirit, Charlotte, the cats, and I are all up. More later. I'm excited to hear more about that. Okay, guys. So again, Friday recap. We're just going to recap a little bit on the sacral. And again, if anybody has any questions, this is the day, the time, the place. Let me know if anything popped up for you along the way. I'll pull up the sacral, right? Just a reminder, the sacral is the I feel, right? We started out in our root. The root is I am, and I feel, right? I feel. And this is why it's so important for us to really step into that saying, I feel, and allowing ourselves to feel whatever it is we are feeling and not judge ourselves for it, but really just allow that feeling, that emotion to come through all of our chakras. As we learn more of this, we'll understand the importance of really allowing it to flow all the way through so we can get a whole picture of it. So this is the feel. This is the chakra where we add that feeling. We get the base chakra is instinct. First instinct. There's no emotion attached to it. It's just animal instinct, fight or flight, survival. We come up into that sacral, we're adding emotion now to this energy. Okay. As energy flows through us, it's gaining a life of its own, if you will. Okay. And that's where it gets that energy. So it is important for us to be balanced in that area so that it does flow, so that when we feel certain things, we're allowing it to come all the way through our energy systems. So we get that bigger picture. If we come into not allowing or trying to repress or hold on to these emotions, or trying to pretend we don't feel a certain way, that's when we start to push down. We're resisting, right? And it's supposed to be flowing up through us, but we're resisting. So we're creating blockages. We're creating little, what happens in a river, if a river's flowing up and we come and we stack objects in that river, it's going to block that flow. You're not going to block the river will find other ways to go around and flow through, right? But you've added some resistance in it, right? That's the same thing we do when we push down the emotion. So it's important to come into that I feel. We're in the I feel. The symbol in the chakra is the 6-petal lotus flower surrounding the center. The center circles represent birth, death, and rebirth. The triangle circles also create a moon shape, which reminds us of the connection between creativity, right? The creative, this is our creative emotion, creative chakra, between creativity and the moon phases. Primary function of this chakra is creativity. It is pleasure and overall enjoyment in our life. Okay, we're connected to the water. Remember, this is the element of the water. So this is, again, all about, this chakra is all about flow, flexibility, freedom of expression, freedom to be able to express these emotions and allow them to flow through us rather than resist. Okay, good morning, Samantha. Good morning, Pauline. Good morning, sisters. Thank you for being here. Good morning. So when we work in this chakra, we can address our relationships with ourselves and others, personally discover that you have unlimited creative power. This is where all of our creation comes from. Every thought of creating, doing, act, this are right there. This is where that picks up from, right? Comes into that chakra. You'll learn how to cultivate a healthy relationship to pleasure. Go back if you were here on Wednesday and look at those questions we went over. Look at how your relationship with pleasure is, with enjoyment, right? Gain insight on your default reactions and your deepest emotions, and learn how to sit in the depths of your feelings. This is when we're balanced. We know how to do this. We know how to sit in our emotions without the resistance. We know that this too shall pass, and that we can have this experience. We're grounded. We understand that. We learn how to use the tools to keep us there, using the I feel, I am, right? You will more freely express your wants, needs, and emotions with others. You will also learn how to express yourself more skillfully and how to begin setting healthy boundaries. And how do we set healthy boundaries? By how we treat ourselves. The way we treat us is how we are teaching others that they can treat us as well. Super important to see that. Okay? We are the example of what we expect to be treated like. So look at that. Think about that. How do you treat yourself? This is the place to check that out. Miss Karen, if you find yourself spending a lot of time with low back pain, hip or shoulder pain, look at your second chakra and how you are dealing with your feelings. And are you dancing and singing or doing art? Exactly. If we're having some of these symptoms, the best way, it doesn't have to be so difficult, right? Actually, it can be kind of fun when we start to learn to get in touch with these emotions, because you do get creative. Find a way to get creative, even with the emotion of anger. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to use my beautiful sister Kelly Partridge. She taught me this through her beautiful example, right? Because anger is one of the ones that I don't like to experience. I don't like to experience anger. So I push anger down and try to pretend and push it away. And I resist anger. I resist it because I was never taught healthy ways by the examples I had around me of how to deal with anger in a healthy manner, right? It was always, those are those old patterns we just talked about. When we get in there, we can look at old patterns. My default reaction to anger was what I witnessed around me, which would be throwing things, violent, just so much frustration. And I didn't like that because that's not me. I don't like to be that way. I don't want to be that way. So I would try to, don't have it. But then I'm holding on to all of this anger that I didn't know how to let go of. I was so afraid if I let it go, I would turn into all those examples that I was trying so hard to fight. But I didn't realize I was holding on to the same thing I was trying to fight so hard by not having a healthy way to release and express that, right? My beautiful sister, Kelly Partridge, she went and she took the time to sit in her second chakra. I can't say that was her intention specifically, but I know this is where this came from, right? She took the time to go into her emotion, and she was very public about this. So I'm okay. I know she's okay with me sharing it too. And she got a sledgehammer. She went to a junkyard and she talked to the people ahead of time and set up to where she had this car available to her that she literally could take all of this pinned up stuff that she had built up in this place, right? And literally let it out in a safe place. Have that expression, have that full release for her in a safe environment that wasn't harmful. But once she was able to release that, she's a beautiful artist as well, right? She now has those boundaries. She now has a healthy outlet. So she was able to let go of the repressed stuff, release it through creativity, through her art, right? Through finding different ways and to stay in that expressive flow and no longer have those blocks come back in there, the things she let go of. The reason I bring it up, because that's what guided me to learn how to let it go my way. For me, it was along kind of the same lines, except for I got the soft little punchy bag things and went through my week of little emotions and allowed myself to really focus it all into that, and then just have a big release and a cry with that with myself. And now, because of Kelly, I use art. I don't judge myself. I'm an artist. You might not look at my art and think it's great, but I think it's amazing because you know what? It made me feel good. It made me feel good. It is an expression of what I had going on within me that is now out of me and free, and I can see its tools, right? So this is I can feel now. I allow myself to feel when things are coming up. Get the tools, right? So look at what feelings you are not dealing with, like held on anger, sadness, and keep working with it. Exactly, right? Keep working with it. Thank you. I needed to work on this. Everything you said is hurting me these days. These are all divine timing. The one thing I do know to always be 100% true is the universe is always divinely conspiring for us to bring us the messages that will help us. And that's going to lead me into the most perfect. I'm so glad. Thank you for that segue, Pauline. Because right, sometimes we get locked into too that a message has like only one meaning or something. We only see one piece of the message or one slice of the meaning to the message. Like one pixel is the way Spirit this morning. Me and Spirit had a great kick out of this when I share this with you guys. My morning meditation, the way my day went already. but it's like the pixel, if you were to only look at the one pixel in the screen right now that you're even looking at, right, you wouldn't be able to see the whole picture, right? But if you step back, there's like 100 billion pixels putting together that message, putting together this message. And that's the same way universe is, right? The messages that come through are so multi-level, multi-dimensional. It's mind-boggling. And our human brains, this human brain, it's amazing to see it. I get it, but it's at the same time, it's like, wow, when I really see it. So where I'm going with that is yesterday I shared with you guys about the coyotes, right? Coyotes mean tricksters. Coyotes, it's warning of secrets, tricks. Beware of your surroundings, things like that. Good morning, my beautiful sister Kelly. Good morning, good morning. And so that was my message. And I was in the middle of a dream of a past situation. And so I do know that was definitely a message connected to a situation there. I know for sure one part, like there's not even a doubt in my mind how, like, what the message was, where I know intuitively, I know. But this morning I woke up to a message because I've been advertising my Reiki. I'm trying to get my practice up going on September 1st. We'll see with in person with the way some of the restrictions are going, that might not be, but still I can do distance and been advertising and doing that stuff. So this morning I woke up to a message from somebody saying that they are with a local film company, and they were wanting to hire me to come and do work while they were on their production crew, like the filming part, right? And it seemed pretty legit at first because like the number, everything seemed kind of legit, but my intuitive was kind of like, okay, what's this? So I started asking questions, and the things coming back seemed like kind of okay. And then, long story short, it became very obvious with after like the first questions were answered and seemed very normal, and then all of a sudden the weirdness came. And it was just very obvious that it was like a bait and switch type situation where um, they're looking for something other than what they were actually saying they were looking for. Y'all know what I mean? I'm gonna get into that. But it's funny because I just so loudly all of a sudden, as like even right before I got the message back of the shiftiness kind of shifting, the conversation shifting, I heard the coyotes all of a sudden, and I was like, it just like I'm like, oh, here it comes. I'm ready for it. And sure enough, the next text that came through, the next message was shady, 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 And so it was just funny because long story short, I just pretty much told him, I'm like, I am an intuitive and I know where this is headed, and this isn't the energy I work in. I work in the light, and so no thank you. And that was that. But the point of it was, and I didn't get it, that was it. They got it. They done. Shut down, right? But right, what a multi-dimensional message from spirit. Um and I would hope that most people would pick up that it was a scam. I would hope, but like I said, they were pretty good in the beginning with their thing. And it's just we always that it's so important for us to be in tune with our intuition, with our knowingness, with our seeing the signs, with being able, like for me it was like, okay, intuitively I already knew, but as soon as I heard the coyotes, like that was my like, boop, sign still deliver. I know this is a scam. And sure enough, as soon as I just knew in my knowingness, it was revealed very clearly. So just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought that was an interesting tidbit. I felt they were wanting to see your yeah. I think you're correct on that. I'm pretty sure that's where the eventual it was very interesting that they were very good at like trying to be like knowing their energy and energy work and this and that, and it was pretty good. Pretty interesting what people will do, going to the lengths to be shifty, secretive tricksters, coyotes. But We got to have them too, I guess, right? I did give them the advice that, when you're putting that kind of energy out, you get back what you're seeking. So stay in the light. Stay in the light. Stay in the light. Good morning, Victoria. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, guys. So our homework. Where did it go? I always challenge, we get a challenge, right? Every day we got it. So Tuesday, our challenge was to our foods, looking at foods that we're putting in our body, picking some organic, good, healthy foods that will help out the root chakra, and seeing how we feel, just seeing how it makes us feel, and how, like paying attention to our energy fields. Essential oil, using an essential oil, another amazing way. Herbs, teas, any of that stuff. Wednesday, we did the yoga, or we talked about yoga, and we did the breathing meditation where we remember what Brother Bear taught us yesterday too, right? Using our hands, right? I had you guys put your hands, I had both hands, had you put both hands. Putting your left hand on your sacral, though, that's the receiving, getting the information, right? Having both, you're really just connected and grounded into that sacral where you ask those questions, and we practice that. We have those questions. So if you weren't able to be here and you're curious about that, go back, check that out, because there's some really good information you can get out of that. And then yesterday, like I said, Brother Bear was here talking to us about crystals, rocks, and the challenge yesterday was to go out using your energy, using your hands, like Brother Bear taught us yesterday, right? How we can feel energy, going and using that to choose, not necessarily by what you're told, oh, these are good for the sacral, but what you feel energetically being called to you, putting your hand on your sacral and allowing that to feel the energy of the rocks, and see, and try both hands, go back and forth, go back and forth and see what it looks like with your left compared to your right. Put one on the sacral and run over, and the other on the sacral, go over. See the difference for you, the feel of the receiving. One hand receives, one hand gives, right? Usually the left receives, the right gives. For a little while, when I started out in this, though, my energy fields were a little wonky and I was a little backwards. I went the other direction for a while. Things are going the right way for me now, but when I started out, I was I had some wonky stuff happening. So more up here probably than actual here, but it was how I was receiving things, because I do everything backwards. My brain receives backwards. So it was an interesting dance for me, learning how to really feel, but that's me. So that's why I always do it with both. See what they feel like. Check it out for yourself. What was our other challenge? What was the other challenge? Okay, so this weekend, that's my challenge to you guys this weekend is, and then art. That is this weekend. So over the weekend, the challenge is to go out, get some orange in your life. I don't care how, what, when, where. Get some type of orange, get some oils, get some herbs, go out in the forest, let that call you, connect to your sacral and ask and find out, what would benefit me, what would bring me into a higher elevation. Bring that into your world and do something creative. That's the second challenge for this weekend, is go out and do something creative. Find something you haven't, and I want to say new. It doesn't have to be brand new, but if do something, if it is something that you haven't done in a long, long time, something that really brings you joy, that really connects to your creative expression, to the creativity within you, allowing yourself to flow and express. Find something, even if you only take 15 minutes and sit down and color a picture, if that's what it is, but find something to allow some release, some creative release, and pay attention to how that makes you feel overall. Even 15 minutes, do a 15-minute creative little project, and then pay attention to your mood for the rest of the day. See if it benefits you, if it helps you, how allowing yourself that little bit of you time really will help you. If it does, see if it does. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Maybe it won't benefit you at all. And then what do you got to lose? Nothing. You can have all your energy back exactly the way you want it. Samantha, good morning, good morning, good morning. So that is our homework, our challenge, if you will, for the weekend. And I'm going to go back and reread because everyone, I just all of a sudden got a, I need to go back and watch some of this week. Yeah. Okay. Well, the Facebook, and guys, if you have trouble on Facebook and TikTok, I don't know how to repost the lives, but you got to come over and join Facebook. Or guys, I'm going to recommend my YouTube channel. Like, come check out the YouTube channel, like and subscribe over there because I don't seem to have any trouble with it broadcasting very clearly with uninterrupted issues over there. Everything I talk about seems to be okay with them. Sometimes Facebook, for some reason, has issues with what I'm saying. I got the message popped up today too, but I just keep going now. So today's question and answer, if you have any questions. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. So yeah, Karen, Karen, I'll have to show you my YouTube channel. It's the same as this too. You can like and subscribe and hopefully that'll help. I don't know. I think it might be, if it's just you, then it's your device. If everybody's having that issue with me going in and out, then it's a Facebook thing. Just saying. I need my energy back. I'm really slipping. Pauline, I love you brought that up. All right. You need your energy back. You're feeling yourself getting wonky, and this is why I know why Spirit guided me to do this. It's so important for us to learn our own energy systems. And it's great. Again, I do Reiki. I love doing Reiki sessions on other people. I love going in and helping people to release and let go of their stuff. But if we go in and I do all this work for you, but you're not taught about you and your systems. What we do is we wind up replacing the energy with the same. We pick up the same energy that we let go of, that we released, that we cleaned out, and we put it back because that feels comfortable. We attract back the same thing we're letting go of, and it can become a vicious cycle of not really coming into ourselves. That's why it's important to really learn for ourselves. It's great to have help with getting this energy moving, letting go, releasing, but it's also important to learn you so that you replace it with the things you want and by being in balance. Can you send me the link for your YouTube channel? I can send you the link for the YouTube. You know what? Let me actually pull that up really quick right now. And how do I do that? Let's see. My channel. By being in balance. Whoops, hang on. Can you send me the link? What? Yeah, let me get it. Haha. I will go capture that link right now. Paste. Boom. Do it over here too, so I can just paste it. Okay. Guys, there's the link. I'm pinning it. Oh, I think I'm going to pin it if it'll let me. There it is. Boom. The link to the YouTube channel is pinned. So y'all can, if it's wonky, see if it's better over there. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys, time to move into our food for thought. We will see what, to quote my one of my favorites, Wayne Dyer, change your thought, change your life. This was a major shifter for me along my spiritual journey early on in my awakening. Wayne Dyer was one of my first mentors, if you will. I spent a lot of time listening and watching his videos and really, and the cool thing is I was in Maui at the time, and Wayne Dyer lived in Maui when he passed away in Maui, even at the resort right up the road from where I, during this time period when he was in my world. So I felt very much just so connected. You could just feel his loving energy, his presence. It's beautiful. Thank you, Pauline. Awesome. Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe to that, and you'll get the notification too when I go live. I'm trying to just build up the YouTube because it seems to be the space where I can be a little more freely flowing. We don't have as much issues. So, okay. Yeah, and TikTok. Thank you for that, Miss Kelly. Kelly said I put some really cool things on TikTok. Thank you. I have fun with TikTok. And I do love TikTok. So yes, come over and you can always check out my TikTok. It's the same name everywhere too. That's like Earth Angels Heaven Sent, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. I have the same name across the board. I wish I could figure out how to redo the lives on TikTok, but I don't. Like I see where they're at, but I don't know if I can like rebroadcast them. I don't know how that works exactly, but thank you, thank you, thank you. My orange, right? The challenge. I picked up the challenge that I laid down for you guys today, and I've got my orange. All the excuse me, over there it looks a little more pinkish, but it has a lot of orange in it. You can tell on the Facebook it's actually more orange. It's orange and red, but it looks pink over there, which is interesting. Um, okay. Miss Karen said, I did a little acrylic painting yesterday, a 10 by 10, was moving paint around and used Sharpies of copper and bronze for the orange and gold. Just a great way to express that chakra. Gonna do another one for the neck center. Can do the same with crayons and colored pencils. Miss Karen, thank you for sharing that. What a beautiful idea, you guys. And I seen her painting yesterday. It was phenomenal. I walked in, the first thing I said was, sacral chakra much? And she laughed. She's like, yep, you got it, right? I could just see it. I could see it. It was so beautiful. I love that. What a beautiful challenge. Get those paints out, right? Paint your sacral. Use that as your creative challenge for this weekend is to paint your sacral. Put your hand on your sacral, your hands like we did with the questions. Meditate for a few minutes with it, just doing some breathing in and out. Practice the breath like Brother Bear shared with us yesterday. I love that. The box breathing, I believe he called it, where we hold for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, release for 3 seconds, right? Hold it in for 3 seconds and breathing into that chakra and holding the energy in there, connecting to that energy, releasing like box breathing. In, holding, release, hold for 3, in, hold for 3, out, hold for 3, right? Back and forth. And then pick up your crayons, your colors, your pencils, your paints, and dive in there. Like, just let it flow, whatever, let it flow for reals. I got some orange tiger eye yesterday. Boom. Yes, yes, yes. That's it. And Miss Kelly, she's doing the same thing. And Victoria says the YouTube is much better over there. FYI, everybody, just saying. Just saying. Okay. We're at 9:06. I will chat we can chat all day. It's Friday too, right? I love Friday, so it's so good. Guide for Spiritual Living, Science of Mind magazine. This is part of my daily practice, part of my spiritual practice that I share with you guys. I have my practice and then I come and share a little bit with you guys about focusing on mind, body, and spirit. Like I said, Wayne Dyer has always been one of my mentors, my inspiration, where really when we do examine our thought, when we look at our thought, we can change our life. When we start changing our thinking, our life does start changing. And that is one thing I bless my parents. They taught me at a young age that I could do anything I put my mind to. My parents, from the time I was old enough to remember, would tell me that when my mom, especially, anything I ever put my mind to, I could do. And she is not mistaken. I have done everything in my life anything I've ever set my mind that that's what I'm doing. I want to do that. I've done it. I've lived in exotic places. I've traveled. I've been on cruises. I've seen almost every state in the United States. Yeah, anything I've had a passion towards, an idea for, I'm like locked in. I want to do that. Boom, I can do it. And I'm not like any of us. This is so true. So that's why when I came across Wayne Dyer, it really started consciously working in this way. It really changed my life. Hello, Craig, Brave Evil Eagle. Welcome, welcome. I cannot talk today. What is going on with me? Welcome. It's so nice to see you, brother. How are you? so good to have you. It's been a while. Are you on the road? So, when we look at our thoughts, the way we think, the way we process the patterns, these things are important. They really can make big differences. So, Science of Mind magazine, scienceofmind.com. There's always two different quotes from two different mystics, philosophers, um, healers, ministers, practitioners, little food for thought, and then we get an affirmation. And what's amazing is it's always right in alignment with what we happen to be talking about. It's like spirit is, you know, bringing those multiple dimensional levels to all of us simultaneously, consistently, conspiring for us. It's amazing. I am doing excellent, brother. Excellent. All right, guys. Friday, August the 27th. I can't believe we're already almost in September. My mind is just blown this year. Is that part wow. Okay. Our first quote today is going to come from Dr. Martin Luther King. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. That's a good one. Like that, right? Faith is taking the first step even when you don't know the whole staircase. That really resonates for me because for me, spirit has made it so clear to me, especially when we're talking about these things we put our minds to, our goals, right? That's what I have to do when I have a passion for something. I really only have to give it to great spirit and say, this is my dream, my passion. This is where I want to go. This is, this is where, because I know that passion's within me because spirit put it within me. That's part of my unique DNA that great spirit made, for me to connect with that. And that when I do that, all I have to do at that point is step back and have faith. Take one step every morning, knowing that my blueprint will be revealed, getting me to that destination. As long as I keep the eye on the big picture over here, every day that step will be revealed. Every single day. So for me, that hits for me big time. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Ernest Holmes says out of The Science of Mind, faith is an affirmative mental approach to reality. Faith allows us to see beyond appearances. When life gets too painful, faith allows us to see there is a higher truth beyond the horizon. Emmanuel Tinney teaches, there are no guarantees. From the viewpoint of fear, none are strong enough. From the viewpoint of love, none are necessary. If you live in a place of fear, nothing anyone can say or do is comforting. When we live from a place of deep and abiding faith, we don't seek guarantees because we know Spirit is always with us and that it is all we need to know. Fear is learned. I read that the only fears newborns come into life with are falling and loud noises. Unfortunately, as we grow older, we acquire a host of new fears. But we don't have to let fear run our lives. We can learn new ways to think and behave. If we want to become the master of our lives, we must first become the masters of our thinking. Mic drop. We're in the middle of Master Your Energy. The end of this week, really? I love it. When I was a young boy, I remember begging God to get me out of the jams I had gotten into. What I know now is I don't need to beg. I just need to make space for God to move into my life. The power, presence, and majesty of spirit is right where I am all the time. When we have a deep belief in the power of spirit, anything is possible because our power doesn't do the work. Spirit's power does the work. That's having faith, letting spirit do the work. That just hit me on another level. Boom. I just got the divine 2x4 right there in front of y'all. Did y'all see that smack? Did y'all see it? Did you see it? Another level of faith and understanding right here within me, right here, live in front of your eyes. That's power. Letting spirit do the work. That's faith. That's power. That is a whole nother level of understanding our power. I love it. Miss Kelly Jones said, yesterday I had a bad day. I tried to get through it on my own. My intuition kept telling me I needed to go visit my new son-in-law in 5 months. I ignored it. Well, I finally just went with it. Visited for an hour and walked away feeling so much better. Don't ignore your intuition. I love it. Thank you, Kelly. Or yes, Kelly, for sharing that. I could have heard what he told me for 5 others, but the message needed to come from him and only him. Bam. It's important that we listen to spirit. We tap into this. This is getting to know our inner, right? I feel. Talk about being in that chakra, Kelly, right? I feel like I needed to talk to him. Like you were feeling down, you were feeling out of wonk, and your intuition, you kept getting that feeling that you needed to talk to him, right? How many times do we get that feeling? You guys hear that? The word, right? The I feel chakra. Our intuitive connection, the creative, right? I feel the need. Saying, hint, 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 hint. I love it. Thank you for sharing, Kelly. This really speaks to me today. I know why I'm sliding. I know what it is. I really need to dive back into my craft work to get back into my meditation. Absolutely. Guys, this is, it's interesting because we live in this world where we feel like we don't have time to have joyful expression, joyful like that, to take the time to do their hobbies, their side things. This is, we don't have the time, but the reality is we are robbed. That's us stepping on our own oxygen hose. We are draining our own energy because we're not tapping into our source, our power, That's that creative flow. I love you guys are recognizing this and seeing this. It just gives me the God bumps everywhere because that's what this is about. Us coming together and having these shifts of perspective, nourishing ourselves, our minds, our bodies, our spirits, and lighting ourselves up. Because as we come into alignment with our own chakra, even like Brother Bear brought up, and I talked about the first week yesterday, right? Balancing our chakras is a constant doing because energy is never still. Energy never stops flowing. We are constantly flowing. Everything in this planet, everything in this universe is always in motion and always shifting. But when we have a clear, cleansed, and energized system and we understand the power sources and we connect and we're in that flow, which is part of being our creative, we have to be in that to be in that. It's a whole different ball game, man. Whole different ball game, right? So, all right, back to our affirmation. I get all sidetracked. I'm so excited. I get excited. I can't help myself. I just love seeing everybody expand and grow and light up and like the rainbow warriors, right? That's what we're doing here, to light up our energy, to light up our rainbow, to transmute the energy around here, around us, in here. As we move, we're one, the whole planet shifts, transitions, moves, right? Affirmation. In this moment, I turn within and open myself to the power and presence of spirit. There is nothing to fear, for I am one with a loving presence that wishes only good and more good for me. I'm going to repeat that one for those in the back. In this moment, I turn within and open myself to the power of presence of spirit. There is nothing to fear, for I am one with a loving presence that wishes only good and more good for me. Boom. Boom, shakalaka, laka, boom. Miss Kelly Jones says 10%, 2.4 hours a day tithing to yourself. Amen, sister. That's right, right? We talk about that on Mondays. Tithing, gifting back to where we're spiritually fed, mind, body, and soul, all the way across the board. Everything that comes through us, we're a conduit. And when we tithe back to where we're being fed, it's us gifting to spirit, saying thank you and continuing the flow, consciously continuing the flow. We look at that, we're gifted with 24 hours a day. That's a gift, right? 24 hours a day. If you take 10% of that, the tithing is 2.4 hours to gift back to spirit. The gift that gives you the opportunity to be here and have this spiritual experience as a human. It's important we nourish ourselves. And part of that is crafting, connecting to our creativity, being in our energy system and giving it the attention that it requires. It's a requirement to be in alignment with who we are, to be creative. I mean, think about that. It's literally a requirement to get out and play and be creative and tap into your creativeness. Period. It's part of your life purpose. Just saying. Life purpose is mastering ourselves, my opinion. Okay, yes, we can ask the Creator to give us something if we don't give it back. This all makes sense. Thank you, Jamaica. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing your energy as we grow and expand, right? It's all we touch each other. The light expands and expands. And it's like, for me, oh, I'm about to get super emotional now. I just had this flash of when I first consciously started working with the angels in energy work, learning my energy and consciously, working with them. They gave me a vision of the angels surrounding the earth and sending energy to the earth. Super emotional right this second with this. This is good emotion though. Like such a happy because I see it. I see it. And in that vision, it was a light, like one lit up because the whole earth was dark. And then one person lit up and you could see like a light and then there was boom. And it was like pinpricks everywhere. All of a sudden these little lights like stars, except for the opposite looking at the earth, right? But it was dark like the galaxy, but you could tell it was the earth. But they were sending this love, this unconditional love, and each one of the angels represented a different color. The archangel, this was when I was coming into learning with, anyway, but down to here, sending this rainbow. And everyone just started lighting up, lighting up, lighting up. And as one would, then it was like a bounce. So not only coming from up here and the angels up here, then it started down here bouncing. The energy was bouncing down lower from one to here to here to here. And for the next thing you know, it was just lit up so bright and beautiful. And it was just so peaceful and oneness. I don't, to a level I can't really describe. There's not words for. I see that with us here, with you guys, everybody that comes and watches and participates and is taking this time to master your own energy. Love yourself and give yourself a big pat on the back and thank you. Thank you for having the courage to do this work because you're part of this global shift. This is the work that has to be done so that this whole planet can shift. As we do this individual work, that's how powerful we are. Us stepping into this, we're changing this. I love you all. You are all such blessings in my life. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move into the spiritual because I think we just hit on the spiritual, right? We're running short on time. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. Thank you. Exact. Karen touched on that too, right? When we get lost in doing something creative, that's time with spirit. And for me, that's true, man. I can get into anything creative now. Anything, painting, even walking. Like walking was my first, really, to be honest. I love to go out and just walk and be in nature. And like that is a creative flow. You're in the flow, you're being a part of picking up stones, rock hunting, these are all ways to be with spirit, always to connect with spirit, to source, your true power. All right, so today our food for thought, we just did our food for thought. The spirits are coming from the oracle deck, the fairy forest. Speaking of getting out in that forest, are wanting to come out. The fairies are all about inner child, connection, creativity. They're fun. Think about the fairies out in the forest. They're all about having fun. I have two different decks. My other deck is more the fun, pixie, lighthearted, giggly, haha deck. These guys are the kick your butt, we mean business. Get yourself connected to the elementals. Get yourself in that creative flow with Mama Earth. Connect. They mean business. So, and I feel like they're like, yeah, we mean business. Like it's time to get creative. It's time to get creative. We're getting ready to come into, we're getting ready to hit the fall. Lots of transitioning happening. Getting outside this weekend is going to be it's important. If you can possibly get outside and get creative in any way, get your feet outside, get grounded into the ground, connecting with that sacral, connecting with your energy system. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Let's see what they have for us today. I love it. They're like, some of you are being kind of stubborn about this. Quit dragging your feet. Just do it. Do it. Allow yourself to have some fun. Allow yourself pleasure, enjoyment. If you can't get outside, then do some meditations. Literally, they're showing me like some resistance. The resistance. All the resistance. So, and these guys have, this deck itself is just such amazing, the descriptions that come with it. So I'd like to read to you guys from this one. Oath is coming in. Oh, so guys, if you're just popping on, this is a collective for everybody. If you're here, this place, space, and time, I do know if you're open to receive a message, this is for you. Okay. Promise, pledge, contract. An oath is a sacred bond that we make. It is more important than a promise. It is a bond of a soul contract through the spoken word. And thus we must be cautious when we offer our word and think through what it is we mean when we give it. It is important to ever know what others think we mean when we give our word. So when this card comes, there is a slight undertone of a warning that another person may take your word and twist it to mean they have your loyalty forever, regardless of circumstance, behavior, or treatment. An oath is made between equals, and an oath can be broken by both parties and both circumstances. You may now be considering a partnership or a contractual agreement. It is almost impossible to know how to ensure that this is a good thing, because the truth is, Within every contract, there is much that cannot be comprehended, even when it is read. If this is the case, ask the other party in the contract to explain what is meant by the clauses you do not understand, and ask them to offer examples so that you can best understand the paper oath you are taking. In some cases, it may be a handshake you are sealing an agreement with. Whatever its form, consider the weight that comes with the feeling of making this contract. Consider the future and the karmic load to agreement brings to you, along with the immediate benefits. It is the truth that when considering our word, we must understand as fully as we can what we have agreed to. Be sure to do that now. Coyotes, right? I know, Kelly, you read my mind. I was like, wow, 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 wow. And I'll tell you what else is very interesting. And again, another level of the coyote coming through, definitely in this, right? This little bit of a warning. But on the morning brew, we're focusing on ourselves. We're focusing on the art of self-care. We're focusing on the relationship with ourselves, right? So when we're looking at that and that being our question of asking spirit, what is it that will help us to elevate today? And we're focusing on this self-care work. This promise, this pledge, this contract is coming in saying, what kind of contracts have you made with yourself along your way, along your journey? What kind of promises or pledges have we maybe made with ourselves that we haven't kept? Ow, sister. Yeah, ow, right? It's okay, right? Is that an ow or an hour? Are we howling or are we owing? I don't know. But but it's okay, right? It's okay, right? I know some the spirits good at right? But this is looking at ourselves and the contracts, the really what is our agreement with ourselves? And I'm guilty of this too. I am so guilty of this. Like I think it's an ouch. You two over there, I think everybody's got an ouch. I know that one went ouch to me. It went ouch to me. I can see where I'm not dishonest with myself, and I'll share with you guys right here, right now, an example of it so that you understand what I'm saying. Um, sugar. Sugar, I know, just doesn't, my physical body doesn't like sugar. Doesn't feel good when it does it. But my emotional body, my little inner child that I'm working through and with, really does like sugar. Lot. I love the sugar. And so I do this battle with myself, right? Where I'm not gonna, okay, body, no more sugar. I mean it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not gonna do it anymore. 2 3 days, feeling good. Get the sugar, like weed it out. I do the honey. I do my things, and then the next thing I know, the ice cream's like really screaming my name in the freezer, and just one little bite wouldn't hurt, right? One little bite. There's a tiny bit. It's a one little bite. Or that little, for me, I have to eat gluten free. So, like, I don't find, gluten free stuff too, right? So, like, if I see something gluten free, sugary all of a sudden, because I can't normally have it, like some certain cookies I won't name the names of that I found recently that really connect with my inner child that I had to purchase because, like, I can't ever get those cookies. They're named Brand Yummy, my favorite, used to be my favorite cookies. Couldn't get those because I'm gluten free now. Now, all of a sudden, they have gluten free kind. I had to try those. But look, I'm like not even keeping my own promises. I'm not keeping my own pledges to myself. How in God's name can I expect everybody in the world around me and all of that like this to be clear when I can't even get super clear with myself? Brings me to a new perspective. I'm just saying, it's a new perspective for myself. I don't know how it resonates with anybody else, but for me, it's like wow, wow, wow. We're being asked to really examine our pledges, our contracts with ourselves. This even I just heard Soleli, our soul contract coming in, part of mastering our energies. If you believe as I do along this adventure, I firmly believe that we do choose when, where, and how we come back in. I do. I believe we choose because we want to have certain experiences. We want certain things along the way. So we make little contracts with ourselves. We do make contracts. We make contracts with others that are going to come in and play roles in our partnership, along with us, not even necessarily in our lives, but just, I mean, it could even be the lady at the grocery store that you cross only one time in your life that says the most profound thing that um, shifts you into a whole nother direction in your life. And guess what? That was a deal, you guys. That was a contract you guys made coming in before you got here. You knew that was going to be a thing without knowing it was going to be a thing type deal, right? So, are we looking at really what we came here to connect and do? Our contract to get here. Yes, my hair is a little bit gray. Actually, it's becoming a lot gray. And it's funny because I embrace it. I love my gray hair. I do. I'm the weirdo, but I'm like, come on, keep going. I used to dye my hair blonde all the time so I could do fun colors because dark hair doesn't take fun colors as well, right? And I like color. I'm a colorful being. If you examine your contracts with yourself, maybe trying to do it with love instead of beating yourself up, and then stick that. I like that. Thank you for that reminder, beautiful Karen Jordan. And you got on YouTube. Nice. Good job. I love Karen bringing that up, right? So use this. Exactly. We don't want to beat ourselves up. We're not about that. We're not. But it's an eye opener for me. I got the big divide too. I started going, shoot, really, how am I treating myself? And like you said, though, I need to do it with love. I need to go back and look at that with love and be like, okay, but now I'm more aware. Now I'm like, all of a sudden, I got a new perspective of how I really am treating myself. And I don't want to treat myself. I want to be, right? I don't want to treat myself that way. We talked about that earlier. Like the way we treat ourselves, we teach others that they can treat us. So that's why it's important we examine and call ourselves out, though. Call ourselves out. We don't need other people calling us out. Anybody can stare at us in the mirror and tell us everything in the world they think is causing the cause of our effects. But we can only look at the cause of our effects. Us. It's up to us. Right? And then be kind to ourselves when we see the cause instead of beating ourselves. Like we don't want to treat ourselves that way more. No, we don't want anybody beating us up, including ourselves. Don't beat ourselves up. Love ourselves. Say, you know what? That's the way we believed until now. Now we can shift it. Now we can change it. Boom. Right? Ta-da! Okay, guys, we are overboard. I went 6 minutes over today. It happens. It happens. There was a time when we used to have like 3-hour shows. So I think I'm doing a lot better. A lot better. I'm keeping it in the hour-ish. I love you guys all. We will be back here on Monday morning where we're going to dive into our solar plexus. So take this next 2 days, sit with your sacral, do some of these exercises, get creative, get to know your energy, get to know your energy, get to know some of the tools that help you feel like you're imbalanced in this area. Start to bring, if you haven't noticed, we're having you gather something every week. You should have a nice, cool little altar by the time we're done with little items that help you feel in balance to start your day off, that you can create and have it in a space where you can see it right away and can just remind you of being in balance and remind you of connecting to your energy, reminding you of the powerful being that you are. Just a little hint of where this is kind of headed. Hint. So time is perfect. Pauline has to take Mama to the doctor today. Sending prayers. She's requesting prayers. So anybody that would like to add Miss Pauline Rhines and her mother to your prayer list, thank you. Knowing the absolute highest and best good, the most benevolent situation absolutely happening for everybody involved. Lots of love and light, sister. All right, guys, I am going to sign off. See you back here Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. where, like I said, we're going to dive into that solar plex and learn about our intelligence, where our intelligence really comes from. Love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Reiki is a Japanese technique for stress reduction and relaxation that also promotes healing. It is based on the idea that the unseen life force energy flows through us and is what causes us to be alive. If one's life force energy is low, then we are more likely to get sick or feel stressed. And if it is high, we are more capable of being happy and healthy. Reiki is a simple, natural, and safe method of healing and self-improvement that anyone can use. It has been effective in helping virtually every known illness, and it always creates a beneficial effect. Reiki works in conjunction with all other medical or therapeutical techniques to relieve side effects and promote recovery. And because Reiki is all about the energy, it can be done at a distance, allowing you to enjoy a nice, relaxing session safely in the comfort of your own home. Schedule your in-person or distance session today. I look forward to working with you soon. Namaste.